What are you afraid of? One of the greatest enemies to compassion is fear. It all started with a call, a whisper for a favor from one of our district partners. They sought to place DJ in our care. DJ was a young man marred by academic failure. In his previous 3 years of high school, he barely earned any credits toward graduation. And then, amid the chaos of the pandemic, he vanished into a void of silence. Now, let's be clear. The district's efforts to find him were, at best, lackluster, because when he was enrolled, he barely attended. So they labeled him a truant. And on the days that he showed up, he was fighting in the hallway. So they also labeled him aggressive. In the shadows of uncertainty, I wasn't sure what to expect. A tall and possibly violent young man. But when I finally laid eyes on DJ, there was no fear, only compassion. Something about his bright eyes and his crooked smile and his soft voice made me lean in because I knew that there was more to his story. One of my favorite quotes says that being listened to is so close to being loved that most people do not know the difference. I'm listening, and I hope that compassion does feel like love. What we learned about DJ is that his father had succumbed to his chronic illness, one of the cruel blows of the pandemic's hand. That's a lot for a young man to deal with. And more tragically, he watched his best friend die. Can you imagine? That's a lot for a young man to deal with, even if he is 6'3". It felt like the deck began to stack against him when the family lost their home. Each morning, my team would gather and we would try to figure out, where are we picking up DJ today? Sometimes he'd be at a shelter, and other times at a motel, sometimes in the home of a friend or relative if he was lucky. But occasionally, DJ found a warm place to stay that was just too far for us to actually pick him up. But you know what? DJ always did his work willingly because he'd watched his friends around him prepare for commencement and a spark was lit. We began looking for resources for the family and pushing back on the district's efforts for us to disenroll him for poor attendance. You see, what they couldn't see is that as his body was shrinking from lack of nourishment, his resolve to succeed was expanding. DJ was the very embodiment of resilience. Anyone looking at DJ would have determined that the situation was hopeless. But we allowed compassion to sculpt a different narrative. When I first founded my school, it was with students like DJ in mind. You see, my role as a public school administrator forced me to push too many DJs out of school because of lack of resources, actually compassion. Resources sounds so tidy, doesn't it? It's not. It's messy. Because the only difference between students who receive support and punishment is perception. If students couldn't be served well in the public education system, I wanted them to come to our doors and be compelled by the possibilities. This was my commitment to interrupting the school to prison pipeline. But can I be honest with you? Oftentimes, alternative schools are the two in the school to prison pipeline. And this is what led me to compassionate leadership. You see, compassion demands that I start at a place of empathy. And leadership, I mean real leadership, unlocks the potential in the people that you're serving. Compassionate leadership allows my teachers to go from burnout to innovative. Because I'm deliberate about creating a culture of wellness, we foster connection and a sense of belonging and psychological safety so they can arrive prepared to collaborate and to innovate on behalf of the students that we're serving and constantly look to improve. Compassionate leadership demands that I give my team honest and caring feedback saturated in love. If I didn't have the emotional courage to have these crucial conversations, the only thing that could continue is the status quo. Compassion allows my students to dream beyond their labels. We expected DJ to succeed, just like all of our dreamers. This is why the environment is packed with high academic standards and the resources needed to thrive. As a result, over the last decade, we've served many DJs and maintained a 100% high school graduation rate. Compassion allows my parents to believe that anything is possible. You see, every program that we've ever added has come because of a direct request from a parent. From our culinary arts program to our Saturday experiences. Parent involvement that's rooted in trust and empowerment and compassion is the only kind that actually matters. I am committed to spreading love, and I always have been. You see, it's quite literally what my name means, Evisha. It's Sanskrit, and it means the most fiercely loving person you will find. But my name was Rachel, which for 2 whole days, and that means gentle like a lamb. My mom recalls saying that my unexpected alertness and my commitment to lift my own head after only hours on earth made her question if, in fact, gentle like a lamb was aligned with my nature. In fact, she recounts saying, "This child is more like a lion than a lamb." And just like that, on day 3, she changed my name to one that commands attention, but it also comes with a great call. During one of my sessions with my spiritual director, she made me say my name aloud, Evisha, the most loving person you will find. And in that session, what had been my calling from the very beginning settled into my soul. Now, each time I hear my name, I'm reminded of my purpose, my responsibility, and my calling. I'm committed to sowing seeds of compassion. But you know what? Spreading this message of compassion is not just for school founders or school administrators or even educators. This message of compassion is for all of you, for the leader in you, the influencer inside of each of you. At iCan Dream Center, today we call DJ a graduate. His other school called him doomed for failure, aggressive, nearly a dropout. But we allowed compassion to name him differently. And you know what else? We also call DJ a trailblazer because consequently, he was the first one in his family to earn a high school diploma. You see, when you're investing compassion, you're not just reaching the person in front of you. You have the opportunity to impact generations. So today I invite you to plant a seed of compassion, and the harvest will prove abundant. Thank you.